There is definitely something unwaveringly cool about an affordable, high-performance executive car that people over the world just seem to love. Cars that resemble those that would be cool parked at home in an upscale company car park or just on your home drive while being able to kick numerous supercars in the ass, if you like to call it that way. There's one car that's always been very popular in the car scene, and that is the Audi RS6. What is it that makes this car so popular that it is worshipped by literally everyone who's a car enthusiast? Literally anyone who's had a supercar seems to have an Audi RS6, even Prince Harry himself. In this video, we explore the importance of the Audi RS6 and how it got to be so famous. Going back to its roots, obviously Audi started off in rally sport, and that's where the RS obviously came from. They were very fast, very quick four-wheel drive cars, which obviously had some play into a lot of cars today. Not forgetting that Rennsport RS, so it comes from the Porsche originally. This is where Audi really built up their brand. Of course, the first Audi RS6 officially was in 2002 with the Audi RS, and that was a really popular car, especially in blue actually. And then of course we've had Audi RSs throughout the years. Here's a few reasons why the RS6 was so popular.
And it is one of my all-time favorite Audi models.
Firstly, the Audi RS6 has only ever been offered super fast sports wagon, but there were two generations as a misconception that the Audi RS6 was a sports saloon, and it was a very popular choice at the time. It also looked great, and don't forget this was the early days of the RS6 before it became super popular, but this was with the V10. The RS6 is the fast load lugger of choice for pretty much most people with a huge high budget for a family car. Anyone in the market for a comfortable, spacious tech wagon can outrun the majority of dedicated sports and performance cars on the market, and look no further than the RS6. This is what's made the RS6 so popular with YouTubers alike.
The RS6 made it to SEMA,
as well as people who want to use it in rallies like the Gumball. Unlike its competitors, the Audi RS6 is a quattro all-wheel drive system, which is very hereditary to its history and rally sport past. So, of course, in the early days, the RS6 was way ahead of its time, and still might some argue it already is. The RS6 came fitted with a groundbreaking all-wheel drive quattro system, which provides superb high-level handling, grip, and all-weather abilities to just go through any area and pretty much still be any car. What's great about the RS6 and the RS models since around 2002 is that they're ever-evolving models. This car is constantly changing and always seemingly getting better. The first generation cars, of course, were, like I said before, were game changers, and they were luxury sport wagons. Audi proved that with a drawn RS6, it had created a vehicle that was likened to being a perfect car, and still, a lot of people think that today. It's capable of doing everything. And as a respect and the popularity of the RS6 gathered the momentum, the car has adapted and evolved with every iteration. It just looks more aggressive, it's got more power, it's weirdly more comfortable, it has more technology and even more speed than the previous RS6 that stood before it, even with engine regulations that is in front of Audi at the time.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, it really helps me out. I hope you enjoyed the car content.
As mentioned before, the RS6 has supercar rivaling performance, and a lot of supercar owners do typically have an RS6 as their daily driver. It's just because it basically replicates what you get in a supercar. There was a time that if you wanted a fast supercar, you'd have to obviously buy a supercar with the inevitable drawbacks. You know, the type, the Lamborghini Countach, that sort of thing, a cramped interior, limited route space, and a bone-shattering ride. Well, everyone knows the RS6 is capable of all of the better versions of that and is at a much cheaper price than what a supercar could be. And so everyone seems to think that, and rightly so, that the RS6 is way better than any other car out there. There's absolutely no need for compromise with the RS6, especially with executive-sized vehicles, even keep up pace with some supercars, while this family car is able to bring the dog along. That's been one of the main selling points of the RS6. There was that one time when the RS6 in 2007 had a bonkers V10. The very notion of dropping a big inspired 5-litre V10 in a street-orientated family car essentially is a big bold one, but to add a twin-turbo setup would result in delivering a whopping 571 horsepower and a stumping 479 feet of torque. Even though this was limited, obviously, to its 155 miles an hour, it was able to blitz past 124 miles an hour in less than 12 seconds. This is a V10 powered car that could rocket to around 190 if it was de-restricted at the right time. It became the most powerful car Audi had ever created, which is crazy to think, past at the time even the R8. It's not actually as expensive as you might think. And yes, while the RS6 is expensive, I know what you're saying at the screen. Ben, the RS6 is £100,000. Yes, the newer versions are. Well, with the older versions and depreciated versions, some people have seen these drop to around £20,000. And yes, that's a lot for a used car, but still a very, very high spec, high performance car. And some high mileage examples are still really, really good cars, despite the depreciation. If you compare it to a supercar like a Porsche 911, let's say, you're still getting a really good value per money. Even Lamborghini Urus, something that might have similar seats, it's still unbelievably cheaper, £100,000 cheaper if that. The RS6 in some ways is a modifier's dream. We've seen YouTubers like Matt Armstrong take a broken version and completely change it into this wide body RS6, and it looks amazing. Even low powered examples churned out less than sedate 400 horsepower. But thanks to the presence of a forced induction in all generations, the RS6 is happily able to be modified by people who are interested in the much more powerful versions that could go up to 1000 horsepower. Even a simple marine map can jump an incredible 80 horsepower, and further modifications such as hybrid turbos and updated intercools can help that get even higher. Other things that people like to do to it is wide body the RS6, despite being such an expensive luxury car in the first place. And some people can even pull it off. It's not to my taste, but I do like the fact it's so modifiable. It's really just a muscle car in disguise, and that's why a lot of people love the RS6. With a V8 or V10 beneath the hood, it would appear that many people love it for that reason. It sounds aggressive in sound if you've ever heard one. The RS6 may be an executive and smart suit, but it's one that spent many years in the gym perfecting its craft, some might say. The RS6 in every edition just screams car in disguise. It looks angry, but it keeps it all under wrap in that body, with that engine very, very nicely tuned. The do-it-all family-friendly machine, they say, for the RS6. It's way more justifiable and identifiable than ever before. People spot this car from a mile off. Any car enthusiast will tell you that. And it's great for, of course, a modern family. If you have a lot of money that you can spend on a car like this, because it is the top dog of Audi other than maybe the R8. Wearing several hats at once, and for that, people do put a bit of a price on it. It can be a long distance cruiser, an impressive executive steerer, a fiery supercar. It can be a modified car as well. It's crazy how much the RS6 really packs into one car, and I think that really says it all. To sum up then, the Audi RS6 is an incredible car. From the history of rally sport and Ren sport, it's been able to build into its cars and heritage from the past. Starting with that all four-wheel drive system and great family estate, being able to do anything that a family or person might need is a great selling point. The fact that it's just getting more aggressive and smarter, and wearing a cooler suit has become people's choice and potentially car of the year for quite a lot of car magazines. Let me know what you think about the RS6.